it once again. Physical classification was solid, liquid and gas. So in short, I will tell you about the characteristics of these three states of matter, and at the end we will be able to identify these are the three states of matter: solid, liquid and gas. Now the properties of solid, we will just go through it very fast and then we will understand in detail. All of you know that solids have definite shape and volume, and the space between the particles of solid is very less, it is minimum. The force of attraction between the particles is maximum, and the movement of the particle is minimum. We cannot compress them and they cannot mix with each other with gases or liquids. The rate of diffusion, if we allow them to diffuse in liquid, then they can diffuse. So these are the properties of solid. We will just understand in detail. Then next is, what is the property of liquid? The property of liquids are that the liquids, they don't have the definite shape. Suppose you take water and you pour it in the glass, it will take the shape of the glass. If you pour water in the beaker, it will take the shape of beaker. If you pour water in any other container, it will take the shape of that container. So they don't have a definite shape, but you cannot increase their volume. They have the fixed volume. The space between the particles of liquid
यार मैंने बंद किया था ना वो। मम्मी आप थोड़े ना अंदर बैठो, बंद करो।
I hope everybody's audio is on mute mode. The space between the particles of liquid, it is more than solid and less than gases, and the forces of attraction is less than solid and more than gases. We will explain this in detail, just go through them once. Now we will see a diagram from where you can understand it properly. See, these are the solid. Can you see, children? Solid, where the molecules, the particles of the solid are intact. They have very less spaces between them. And this is the liquid, where you can see that the spaces between the molecules or the particles, whatever is there, their spaces have little bit increased. And in gases, you can see that the spaces are maximum. The space between the particle is maximum. It is obvious that when the molecules are very close to each other, there will be more force of attraction. So force of attraction in the particles of solid is more. In comparison to solid, liquid is having less force of attraction, and in gases there is the least minimum forces of attraction, right? Solids are rigid, they will not change their shape. Liquids will take the shape of the container, and gases don't have a definite shape or fixed volume. Whatever container you pour them, they will occupy the whole space of the container. And because they are far away from each other, so that is why the force of attraction is minimum, the movement is maximum. You can compress them, they flow easily, they can mix in other liquids and solid easily. So the rate of diffusion is quite high in gases. It is minimum in solids, and it is average in liquid, more than solid but less than liquid. I hope you have understood till here. Now we will go in details the properties. This diagram you have understood. That what I'll repeat again. Solids have a definite shape and definite volume. You cannot change their shape. In between solid, the space is minimum. The force of attraction is maximum. The movement of particles is not there at all. and they are not compressible. Compressible means you cannot compress them, you cannot change their shape easily, and the rate of diffusion in solid is very less. But if we go to liquid, the liquids they don't have a definite shape. They take the shape of the container, but they have a fixed volume. There is the space between the particles is more than solid but less than gases. The force of attraction between the particles is more than less than solid but more than gases. They can be compressed and the rate of diffusion is there in liquid. While in gases, they neither have a fixed volume nor they have a fixed shape. They occupy the whole space inside the container, and the space between the particles is maximum. The force between the particle is minimum, and the movement of the particle is maximum. They can be compressed. Now, we will go to another PowerPoint. You can see the screen. Yesterday we shared this. Preeti, just unmute and tell, can you see the classification?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine.
Properties of gases, solid, liquid, and gas picture is there.
No, now I have started another presentation.
No. The same slide which you were explaining, no? That is there.
Okay, fine.
Yes. Now we can see yesterday's slide.
Okay, fine. Now you can see the classification of matter.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So this is the physical classification of matter. We are studying what we are studying. Anyone can speak about the properties of states of matter. Yeah.
Matter.
Now this is the detailed explanation for the solid state. I told you, anyone, Dhruv was speaking, so can you read it? Read one by one. Solids have a specific shape. If you take a pen or a pencil or something else, or a chalk or anything, any notebook in your hand, if you want to draw the boundaries, you can draw the boundaries of all these things. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So what does it mean? That these solids have distinct boundaries. You can draw the boundaries. There, like a notebook is there, a pen is there, a pencil is there, chalk, eraser, scale, ruler, your water bottle, anything is there. If you keep it on board or table, you can draw the distinct boundaries of all these objects. So it means they have a specific shape, and you cannot change their volume. Whatever space is occupied by the notebook or by the rubber band or by the chalk or by the water bottle, that will be the same. You cannot change the volume, the space occupied. Can we see any of these particles moving? They are not moving because they have a specific shape. So they are generally arranged in an order. So they all possess a fixed shape. Now they can be compressed. What do you mean by compression, children? Suppose you take example of gas. You see that when you go outside in markets or somewhere else, you can see that a balloon man is filling so many balloons from the single gas cylinder. So from where is so much of air coming? Similarly, if you see the CNG gas cylinders in the vehicles, there is the gas is filled, compressed, means it is pressurized, and it will occupy that volume, and slowly that balloon man will be using that volume of the gas which is inside the cylinder. It means you can compress them. By force, you can compress them and ask them to occupy the space whatever they have. But we cannot compress solids. Can we compress a chalk? They will break, isn't it? If you want to compress any solid, if you want to ask your water bottle to be inside a small glass, it cannot be compressed. If you apply a lot of pressure, it will break. So we say that these solids cannot be compressed. Why? Because they are intact. There is no space between the particles. Therefore, they cannot be compressed. Now you can ask some questions from this one, because there are some exceptional cases of solids. You can say that rubber band, when we stretch a rubber band, it changes the shape. So it should not be called a solid, right? But it changes its shape only when we apply force on them. As soon as you release the force, the rubber band again comes in its original shape. If you apply a lot of force to change the shape, it will be broken. That is why rubber band is called a solid. Similarly, you can take example of sponge. Now, sponge is very soft. When you apply pressure on it, it will change its shape. It will become thin. So what happens? Then also we call sponge a solid. Why? Because there are a lot of pores inside the sponge, and in this pores, what is filled? Air is filled in. So when you apply the force, that air is released, and that is why you can compress sponge. But it doesn't mean that it is not a solid. It is then also, it is a solid also. Similarly, you can ask about salt or sugar. Like salt or sugar, they take the shape of the container, so we should call them liquids. But no, we don't call them liquids. We call them solids only. Why? Because it is single grain of sugar or salt will have the same shape individually. That is why it is known as solid. These are the various examples of solids. Like you can see ice cubes, you can see cheese cubes, bricks are there, wood is there, your watch, diamond crystal is there, glass. All these are the various examples of solids. Now we will come upon to the next state of matter, that is liquid. Liquids have the following properties. Again, there is lot of noise behind. Children, you have to follow the guidelines. You have to keep your Zoom call on mute mode. Liquids have the following properties. They have a fixed volume, but they don't have a fixed shape. They take the shape of the container. And the force of attraction in liquid particles is less. Therefore, they can flow easily. We cannot compress them like we can compress gases. Because they can flow easily, that is why they are known as fluids. This is an important question, children. This is usually asked. This is usually asked in examination, that why liquids are known as fluids, because they can flow easily. That is why they are known as fluids. This thing. The force of attraction in liquid particles is less than solid. Therefore, there is a space between the particles and they can flow easily. They cannot be compressed. That is why they are also called as fluids. This is important part. Why liquids are called as fluids? Because there is space between the particles of liquids and they can flow easily. That is why they are known as fluids. We cannot call solid as fluids. Gases and liquids are known as fluids together. The particles of liquids, they take the shape of the container. This is because they can take the shape of the container in which we put them. This is, they have kinetic energy. They can move. Yesterday also I told you about this, that the liquid particles and the solid particles, they move. And that energy is known as kinetic energy, and that is why they are moving in liquids and gases. That is why they can take the shape of the container. Now, one more concept we have included in today's class. I told you at the end of this class, we should know about the properties of solid, liquid, and gas, and what is diffusion. Two things we should be clear about it. So, diffusion is what? In simple language, we can say that diffusion of solid into a liquid, solid into a gas, liquid into a liquid, liquid in a gas, mixing of these three states of matter is known as diffusion. So the question is, can other matter diffuse into liquids, solids, liquids, or gases? The answer is yes.
Yes.
The other matters can diffuse into liquids. Why? Because there is space between the particles of liquid. Why they can diffuse? Because there is space between the particles of the liquid. So particles of other matter can occupy these spaces. For example, we have three examples of diffusion of solid into liquids. Like you can mix sugar, which is a solid, in tea, which is a liquid. Liquids can diffuse into liquids, like if you mix ink in water, after some time you see that the whole water has turned blue in color because the droplet of ink is mixed into water and the whole water turns blue without even moving or shaking or stirring the ink particles, because these particles, they have kinetic energy and they can move. Similarly, diffusing gases into liquids. You know, children, how this aquatic animals survive? What do we need for survival? Tell me, what do we need? What do we breathe from air?
Oxygen.
Oxygen. So the aquatic
Oxygen.
animals,
Oxygen.
right? So the animals who live in water, what do they need for breathing? They breathe something else, or they breathe oxygen only?
Carbon dioxide. Oxygen only.
Oxygen only.
Oxygen only.
So, but they are not in air. So from where do they get this oxygen?
And from the water itself.
Water. But how water is water? It is H2O. There is no oxygen. So what is there? This oxygen is dissolved in water, and from this water, they take up oxygen and breathe. So what is this? This process, dissolving of oxygen in water, dissolving of carbon. What are these aerated drinks? You drink soda, you drink this cold drinks, Thumbs Up, Pepsi and all. Actually, what is it?
Yes.
It is carbonated water. Soda is what? It is carbon dioxide mixed in water and compressed. When you open the bottle of the cork of this bottle, there is some whistling sound coming from the bottle. What happens at that time?
And the carbon dioxide stored in the water gets released.
It released. And we compress it. We have put lot of pressure in that, and we have filled inside, dissolved it in water, and it becomes soda. So these all are the examples of what? What do we call this process? Mixing of water and gases.
Diffusion.
Diffusion.
Diffusion,
right?
ma'am.
Yeah. So you have to remember that what is diffusion, right? Now, last thing is we will go for the properties of liquid state, gaseous state. Now these are the examples of liquids like various juices, water, oil, milk, soft drinks, and vinegar. Now we will study about the properties of gases. Gases, they do not have a fixed volume. They can occupy the whole space. They do not have a fixed shape. They have very less forces of attraction, and that is why they have large number of spaces between them, and they can freely move in any direction. We can easily compress them, and unlike solids and liquids, we can store large volumes of gases in very small container. So there is lot of space between the particles of gases, so different gases can diffuse into each other very easily, and the kinetic energy is maximum in case of gases. Therefore, the particles move at very high speed. These are the example of gases like steam. What is smog?
Ma'am, it is the mixture of
Smoke plus
Fog plus air. Oxygen, carbon dioxide, tear gas, helium, there are many gases, right? Now, this is the tabulated form of for comparison of the properties of solids, liquid, and gases. There are 9 different properties, and there is a comparison between all 3 states of matter. Mass, all of them have a fixed mass, whether it is solid, liquid, or gas. Can you see my screen with this
Yes,
tablet?
ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay,
ma'am.
very good, nice.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Now the shape for solid, it is definite. For liquids, they can acquire the shape of the container, and gas is also the same. Volume of solid and liquid is fixed, but the volume of gas is not fixed. Then comes the next property, compressibility. You understood what is compressibility? If we can compress them and they don't change their shape, or we can compress them easily, we can pressurize them easily, then it is known as that they are compressible. Solids, we cannot compress them, they will break, they are very rigid. Liquids are not compressible, but gases are highly compressible. For some extent, we can compress liquids also, but all the liquids are not compressible, and gases are highly compressible. Fluidity, solids don't flow, so they are not fluid. Liquids can flow, so that is why they are known as fluids. Rigidity, solids are highly rigid, liquids are less rigid, and gases are not rigid at all. The next property is diffusion. Solids, the diffusion, they diffuse like sugar dissolves in water, but we have to initiate the process by stirring. So diffusion of solid into liquids is slow. Diffusion of liquids into liquids or solids and gases is fast, and the diffusion of gases is very fast. Then the 8th property is, because of the space. Now the 8th property, space between particles. Solids are most closely packed, liquids are less closely packed, and the gases are least closely packed. They are far apart from each other. Like in solids, they are very intact. In liquids, there is some space between the particles, and in gases, there are large spaces between the particles. Then comes interparticle force, that is the force of attraction between the particles of matter. In solids, there is lot of force of attraction, so we call them the strongest forces of attraction. In liquids, the force of attraction is there, but less than solid and more than gases. And in gases, there is no force of attraction. It is negligible. Understood till here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
ma'am.
Now
Yes,
I will
ma'am.
share the same pages of your textbook where it is there. Can you see? No.
No.
No,
Okay.
ma'am.
No.
No, ma'am.
Wait.
No, ma'am.
No.
Now can you see?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
you have, I think, read till page number 3 yesterday. This is the page
Yes.
4 of your textbook, chapter 1. See this? The same thing is there, states of matter. Then the first is the solid state. I explained you the same thing, that you take and sketch the shape of all the articles. You have a definite shape and definite boundary. If you hammer them, pull them or drop them, they don't change their shape. So that is why they all are known as solid. And here you can see this part. These are all the properties which we understood in detail. Then comes next is consider the following. What about a rubber band? I told you about the rubber band. When we stretch, it changes its shape. Then B point is, what about sugar and salt? They are also solids. They take the shape of the jar, but the shape of the single grain is same. What about a sponge? Is it a solid? Yet we are able to compress them. I explained you the reason, because sponge has many pores in which air is trapped. When we press it, the air is released, and that is why it changes its shape. Now come upon to the next. These are all the explanations, children. Why sponge, rubber band, and the sugar or salt, their shape is not fixed. Then also they come under the category of solids. These are the reasons. And these all can be asked in the form of give reasons. All these three things. About the rubber band, about sugar, about sponge. These are the important questions which can be asked in the form of give reasons. Understood? Then comes liquid state, right? And these are all the properties of liquid state and why they are known as fluids, right? Why they are called. This is also one of the important question. And so, how do aquatic animals survive? This is the answer to that question. All living creatures need to breathe for survival. The aquatic animals can breathe underwater due to the presence of dissolved oxygen in water. So thus we may conclude that solid, liquid and gases can diffuse into the liquids, right? So then we will come up to the 5th page. You have to read all these pages after I finish, right? This is the 5th page, and here you can see again the gaseous state. There is one interesting activity for gaseous state. We call it as the syringe activity. If we would have been in the class, I would have shown you. What do? We take 3 different syringes. You know syringe, injections by which the doctors apply injections. So in this 3 syringe, they have taken 3 things. In one they have taken a piece of chalk. Second, they have taken filled the syringe with water, and the third one is empty. So you have to slide the syringes. What will you see? That the one in which chalk is there, you cannot move the piston of the syringe because solids are not compressible. So the chalk will break, then only you will be able to move the piston. But in which the water is there, you can easily move with some force. But the one which is empty, for us it seems to be empty, but what is there inside it? There is air inside that. So that will be the most easiest one to slide. So from this we can compare the rigidity and the compressibility of all 3 states of matter. So this is one of the activity. How this question is asked in examination? In the same way as it is mentioned in the book, that there are 3 syringes, in one chalk is there, in another one water is there, and the third one is vacant. What do you observe when you move the piston? And what do you infer from your observation? These are diagram based questions which can be asked in the examination, right? Now,
Last 5 minutes.
the liquefied petroleum gas or LPG or the CNG, we use it as fuels, and because they are highly compressible, we can compress them into a small cylinder and they can be transported easily. So these are the examples, and these are the inside structures, particulate structures of all these solid, liquid and gas. So 4th and 5th page is over, and you have to answer all these questions which are here. You have to do all these questions. Of course, we will discuss